What's up, everyone? It's your boy Scott, and welcome to the Scott Report. 2019 is almost over, and not only are we approaching the end of the year, but the start of a new decade as 2020 begins. It's amazing how time flies, but what's even more amazing is how much anime has grown in the past 5 years. But that's a topic for another time. Today, I'm here to talk about some of the upcoming anime for the winter 2020 season and the ones I'm looking forward to the most. Welcome to my winter 2020 anime preview. Kicking off our winter preview is a series that doesn't need an introduction, but we're gonna do it anyway because it's Haikyuu. Haikyuu is finally back for a 4th season with Haikyuu to the top. We've waited 3 years to see our boys from Karasuno in the spring Inter-High tournament, and the Friday hypes will commence on January 10th. What excites me the most about this season is this will be the first time that I'm actually experiencing Haikyuu with my friends and peers among the anime community. I caught up to season 3 near the end, so I didn't get the full effect, but now I can have the heart attacks and the stress and the anticipation that everybody else has just watching this high octane and amazing series together. Haikyuu is also confirmed to be a split 2 core this season. Unfortunately, we gotta wait till summer for core 2. But if it's anything like season 3, we may either need that breather or we're gonna pass off of the anticipation waiting for it to return. Either way, Karasuno, fly. Next up, Studio Shaft returns with the original staff on deck to drop us back into the world of Madoka Magica. Magia Record, Puella Magia Madoka Magica side story, oh my god, why is that title so long, is an adaptation of a current gacha game that gives us a new main character and more magical girls than you can shake a stick at. At the same time, this story is also doubling as a canon spin-off to the original series, as Madoka is still involved and she's actually on a journey to find Homura. So if they're going that route, this could very well be taking place after the events of the Rebellion film. When it comes to psychological anime, Madoka Magica is at the top of the charts hands down, and it's confirmed for 2 cores as well, so it appears Shaft is going all in with this story, especially with having an expansive mobile game for a story to go off on. I'm pretty sure it's a lot of content for them to cover. Magia Record starts Saturday, January 4th. Next on our list is Darwins Game. Now, I've fallen for anime like this many times in the last few years. I mean, there was King's Game, and then there was Caligula, and there was also Magical Girl Sight, and I was severely disappointed in every one of these titles mentioned. However, the overall premise of being trapped in a game of death where the only way to survive is to participate just intrigues me. Hopefully, Darwin's Game brings something different to the table, because we're kicking off the year with an action mystery shonen with an hour-long premiere. In this series, our main character Sudo Kaname is invited to try out a new mysterious mobile app called Darwins Game. But as he dives in deeper, like most of us do with these mobile games, he realizes that he's into something that's way more than he bargained for. For most of us, that's just called gacha hell, but this is a little bit more serious when it comes to having lives on the line instead of our wallets. The mystery tag is the one that gets me the most with wanting to watch this series because I love a good mystery. So let's hope this one's kind to us. But I do have to point out that in the past few years, whenever we got a series that has an hour-long debut, it's been very well received. So no pressure, right? Darwin's Game begins on Friday, January 3rd. Our next series is ID Invaded or It Invaded or whatever it's going to be pronounced, but I can tell you that this is my most anticipated anime of the winter season. Not only is it a sci-fi series, which I absolutely love, but the staff on this series is absolutely phenomenal. It's being directed by Aoki, who also directed Recreators, Al Noah Zero, and Fate Zero. We also have Asushi Akaria, who worked on the Heaven's Fields movies as a character designer, and also Daisuke Mataga, who is the main animator from ReZero, and this is before we even get to the premise of the story, which really sells me on it. ID Invaded is an anime original and is set in a virtual world that follows Saikaido, a detective looking to solve the grisly murder of a young girl. But solving this case won't be as easy a task as he thinks, as the world begins to twist and turn around him, challenging what he thinks and believes is even real. Another 1-hour premiere, the visuals look amazing in this series. The story at glance just seems like it's going to be captivating, and even the music will draw you in. Dare I say, is this going to be the anime of the season already? We'll just have to see. However, it's going to be streaming on Funimation, so it's going to need a little bit of extra muscle promotion-wise to get it out there into people's eyes. If this is a masterpiece, remember, you heard it here first. ID Invaded starts Sunday, January 5th. Next up is Pet. Now this series was on my fall 2019 watch list and it got pushed back. That may have ended up being a good thing though, because there was no footage on it, so any information about the series was a little bit sparse as well. Now with a little bit more homework under our belt with the visuals, we at least have something to go off of for the series. Plus we have the grand return of our boy TK back on the opening, so that's at least worth a listen. But just in case you missed my fall preview, Geno Studios' latest work, Pet, is about a group of individuals who can get into the minds of others. This method is used to aid in solving cases or even assassinations, so the movie Inception immediately comes to mind when I'm thinking about this series. This ability does come with a price. The drawback can be so severe that it can also destroy the person doing the mind jumping. To counter this, one must become bonded with the other person that they're invading by a mental chain, hence the name Pet in the title. This has a potential to be either really good or really bad, or severely slept on, and I can almost guarantee it will get dark and twisted just based off the intentions of others when you get to mind control and things of that matter. Another Amazon property that fits the niche of the anime that they tend to get, which is more of the dark and mature tone of a nature. If it's a hit, you might not hear about it. Pet premieres with a double episode on Amazon starting January 6th. Next up, a late 90s classic returns with Sorceress Stabber Orphan. Orphan is a series that I just got into earlier this year in spite of its age, and boy was it a blast. The 2020 adaptation can be a little bit confusing though, because it shares the same title as the series from 1999, but it's a prequel, so unless you knew that already, you would think it's a reboot. Or is it? Because it looks like it may be a situation where just maybe the 90s one didn't follow the light novel's path, because the 90s one started much later in the series, while Orphan is clearly younger in the 2020 version. And since I didn't read the light novel, I couldn't tell you. For now, only Studio Dean knows, but hey, either way, as a child of the 90s, I still love that feel of the type of anime that we got back then, and it just has an appeal that just can't really be replicated. And as noted, Orphan is definitely one of those series that's a product of the time, but I still feel it holds up. This fantasy, magic, action, adventure series is now being brought to us by Studio Dean, so it's a little bit concerned there when it's a different studio, but it tells the story of Orphan, a young sorcerer in training whose sister and magical mentor Azale dabs a little bit too far into the magic and ends up turning herself into a dragon, so there's that. Naturally, people want to either trap her because she's dangerous or capture her for themselves to get more power. Orphan embarks on a journey to change Azale back to human, all while meeting new friends, foes, and going on a bunch of good old-fashioned adventure to boot. If you're looking for a good fantasy, look no further. Since the first 2 seasons are available on streaming on High Dive, I expect that they will increase their muscle by copying the new series, but at the same time, I can see Funimation grabbing this one as well. Either way, Orphan starts Tuesday, January 7th. The next series is Drifting Dragons. Now this series will be in Netflix jail, so I don't even want to bother mentioning it, especially as a seasoned anime watcher. Plus, whenever Polygon Pictures is involved, you know it's going to be CG, and that seems to be a majority of the anime that Netflix seems to pick up. If it's good, we're either going to have to wait 4 months to see it, or we're just going to have to pirate it. So that's all I'm really going to say about it. Besides, the trailer does look like it's a very fun series, especially when you get to the description of it of, people just being out and about and hunting dragons and eating dragons. Wait a minute, this is a seinen, so this might actually get a little bit dark. I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. But it's Netflix, so we're going to have to wait probably 4 months before we can see it anyway. When does Drifting Dragons start? I didn't even bother to write it down because it's going to be on Netflix, so who cares? We just have to see it whenever we see it and put on our pirate hat. Next is Somali and the Forest Spirit. Do you guys miss Ancient Magus' Bride? Well, so do I. And I've been on a pretty good run the past few seasons with pointing out anime that will have everybody talking but may not be on your radar, such as Adolescence of a Bookworm and Astra Lost in Space as the most current examples. I had the same feeling about Somali. Coming from Studio Satellite, this fantasy slice of life centers on a world ruled by spirits and other mythical creatures. Humans are hunted to near extinction, and we'll be following a young girl and a golem who's traveling this magical world that's both a blessing and a danger to both of them. The feels are gonna come in this one too, as it's been established that they have a father-daughter type of bond, and I think it's a little bit more to that than we're seeing. Again, Ancient Magus' Bride vibes. I expect this to steal the hearts across the community, and the winter time is the perfect time for this type of series, with the snow falling and, magic. It just reminds you of Harry Potter, and once again, Ancient Magus' Bride when it's coming out and things like that. And the streaming rights for this one will be with Crunchyroll, so at the very least, if we love it, it will no doubt get the exposure it deserves. Somalia and the Forest Spirit starts Thursday, January 9th. This next series, I just want to get out the way and let you guys know that I know that Railgun is back. The thing is, I'm only in season 1 of Railgun, but I'll be doing Makoto a disservice by not mentioning this series, so here we are. This franchise is in a weird spot as well because streaming was both on Crunchyroll and Funimation, who has some type of custody war with this series, so who knows which ones it's going to be on. It really is up in the air. But either way, for the sake of the people that are hyped for Railgun returning, looks like we got cute girls doing nothing back. No, seriously, Railgun is amazing. Definitely check it out. I'm definitely excited to see that it has a season 3. Our next series, Inspector, is an interesting one. I feel like I've seen a trailer for this series at the beginning of the year, and it was set for 2020 back then, so that just seemed like it was so far away to be announcing something like this, and yet here we are. Inspector is a supernatural mystery romance that follows Kotoko, a girl who was kidnapped and lost her leg and her eye at a young age when she was kidnapped by spirits. She's been able to communicate with supernaturals ever since. And this was a trait that she thought she was alone with until she finds the boy that she's been crushing on named Kuro also has a similar experience with these spirits. Now with a bond to share, how long will Kotoko be able to manage working with her crush before it becomes a problem? Because fighting spirits is one thing. Being in love and not being able to admit it is something else entirely. This seems like it's going to be a very fun series. It also looks like it's pretty action-packed. Inspector will air on Crunchyroll starting Saturday, January 11th, and they were sure to let you know if they had dibs on this series early. So I feel like they're really going to push this series. It looks fantastic, so I'm really excited to see where it goes. And last but certainly not least, we have Dororo. Wait, hold up. So now we have Dororo, and now Dororo? This is just gonna further confuse our casual watching anime friends when we're trying to suggest an anime for them. But anyway, there's a lot of hype behind Dororo getting an anime adaptation. I mean, this has been up there with Vinland Saga as far as the manga readers wanting to see this series adapted. However, it's in freaking Netflix jail, so no matter how good it's gonna be, it's gonna get overlooked, which is sad because they just don't promote their anime outside Japan. And a lot of us prefer to watch anime legally, so we won't get to see it as soon as we want to unless we have to put on our pirate hats and watch it. And I really hate to do that with something that has a reputation of being so good because, again, there's a lot of steam behind this series. But anyway, what is Dororo about? Brought to you by Studio Mappa, Dororo takes place in a dark future city known as the Hole, a place where humans are plucked off the streets and experimented on by sorcerers from another realm. In this dark, twisted fantasy seinen, we'll follow a girl named Nikaido who meets a man named Cayman who has amnesia, and oh my god, he has a lizard head. And that's just the beginning of the bizarreness that this series has. In order to regain his memories, Cayman gets a clue of the people who wronged him by actually eating the person that he captures. So yeah, things are gonna get really weird with this series, and he's hoping to find the person that did this to him, and that's the only way he can find out how to do it. Nikado's story is gonna be a little bit of a mystery as well as they both embark on a journey of revenge and truth. Add this to a world of magic, zombies, and who knows what else, and we're in for a hell of a ride, especially with Mappa involved because they tend to specialize in this type of anime. Now the manga ran for 18 years and it was a monthly series, so it actually ended in 2018. So there's about 23 volumes for Dororo. Fingers crossed that we'll get a full adaptation. But I think even if it ends up being too core, we might need another season to get through all this. We'll just have to see how it goes. But either way, Dororo will premiere whenever the hell it premieres on Netflix, but outside of America, it's gonna start in Japan on Sunday, January 12th. And that's it for my Winter 2020 anime preview. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more features to come as the Scout Report continues to turn into something special. As always, if you liked the video, go ahead and drop it a like, and if you want to hear more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And as I always say, you guys can be anywhere on YouTube right now, but you chose to listen to me. I really appreciate that, so thanks for stopping by. On that note, it's your boy Scott signing out. See you soon.